What's up, guys? We'll be having Indy news start here in just a second, but I feel like we've been here before. A couple months ago, we unfortunately lost the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and sadly, this week we lost Roddy Piper. It has been a very rough couple of months for the wrestling community. Two unprecedented stars in the wrestling world lost just out of the blue, really. Like, there's nothing that was, there was nothing setting it up. There was no worries about the people. It just kind of happened. And, unfortunately, this past week, we lost Roddy Piper. He was 61 years old. I believe he passed away in his sleep due to a heart attack. But the guy beat cancer, which blows my mind. He just beat cancer like 4 or 5 years ago, and now I was completely and utterly shocked.
Yeah, I mean, 61 is still fairly young in your life.
Yeah.
Lord knows, for a good portion of his life, Roddy probably didn't particularly treat his body like a temple.
No.
But was definitely on the clean, straight, and narrow path for quite a while now.
Yeah, and I think the cancer itself really kicked him into high gear, making sure that he was taking care of himself, and he was cancer free.
Yeah.
The thing, this devastating disease that takes so many lives, Roddy Piper overcame it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, it's, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, it's harder for us, but, we live in Piper territory.
Yeah.
He lived here in Portland, Oregon. This was his stomping grounds for the longest time. He was known as a hometown boy for us. And,
he was here at the last time Monday Night Raw was here.
Yeah, for Hogan's
birthday.
birthday. We got to see him in a little backstage segment with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania when he won the Intercontinental title. We've seen him on Raw prior to the Hogan birthday. There was one other time that he came out. I think it was leading into 25 with the him and Jericho thing, something like that. I don't know. The whole Mickey Rourke Jericho storyline. It's for me, like, I'm the only person in my family that's really a wrestling fan. But when my mom is upset that a wrestler passed away, this person has made an impact in lives, because when she was my age and younger, she watched Portland wrestling, and Roddy Piper was one of her favorites.
Yeah, it's hard to find a person who saw Roddy Piper at any point, basically, in his career, who didn't immediately gravitate towards his charisma. He was so high energy.
Always.
And it never felt like anything was ever forced. Everything he did felt so organic.
He believed everything he did.
It's... I'm still having a hard time coming to grips with this. I've met Piper on a few occasions.
Yeah.
Being from, this area. And it's crazy. And he made a lot of people's careers.
Yeah.
Retrospectively.
Not only that, but he was an inspiration for a lot of the younger generation. There's a lot of people that got into wrestling. CM Punk got into wrestling because he felt like he embodied Roddy Piper.
Yeah, Chikara's ring announcer, Gavin Loudspeaker.
Yeah.
Wasn't a wrestling fan until Roddy Piper came out. for me, like, I like to look back and, think of, like, certain matches he had where him versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 7, I think really catapulted Bret Hart into that territory of being the main event guy that he became for years afterwards.
Yeah.
And then at WrestleMania 12, him versus Goldust.
The backlot brawl.
In the backlot brawl, in my opinion, if Goldust hadn't had that feud with Piper, he probably wouldn't have been a thing.
Yeah.
Because Goldust had the feud with Warrior right when he first debuted,
Right.
but that fell completely flat because Warrior disappeared.
Yeah.
And if, it was good that they had Piper there because that was taking somebody who had that kind of intensity to start running with Goldust, and made Goldust a thing.
Yeah.
So, it's weird thinking, like, how much one person changed the course of history.
Yeah. And Roddy Piper was one of those guys that could keep coming back. Like, I just watched a promo he did against Chris Jericho leading up to the Legends versus Jericho at WrestleMania 25, where he said, he was so passionate about the business. He said, as long as these people tell me to, I will crawl down on my hands and knees and get in this ring because that is what I'm here to do. I'm here to perform. That is what I live for. And, he came back at WrestleMania 25. He's been in a couple of Royal Rumbles. Even if it was just a guest spot on something. The last thing he did, Lana posted on her Instagram, her and Rusev were the last people to be on Piper's Pit.
Yeah.
And it's, there's so many things that are synonymous with Roddy Piper in wrestling. And it
He hit
sucks.
Zack Ryder in the head with a coconut.
Yeah.
I like to think of wrestling is the realm of tangible superheroes.
Yes.
You can see and feel because they're real human beings that are performing in front of you, in person or on your television set. And I think what really, if more than anything else that Piper instilled in me, is that there aren't good heroes without good villains.
And there was no better villain than Roddy Piper.
I mean, honestly, Piper was the best. In that day, him and Flair, were like the two top guys for getting heat,
Yeah. And, the main event of WrestleMania 1, like, the very first WrestleMania, granted, we're not supposed to talk about Hulk Hogan, but him and Roddy Piper, it doesn't get much more polar opposites at that point.
Yeah.
You had the ultimate good that was Hulk Hogan, and you had the ultimate evil that was Roddy Piper. Like, it was the perfect combination of people to jumpstart what is now the biggest show in professional wrestling.
Yeah, it is sad that in just a span of a handful of weeks apart from each other, to lose Dusty Rhodes and Roddy Piper. I can't really think of two guys who lent more to the business nowadays with, teaching and sharing the experience that could have been, taken in this short of time. it's not only a detriment to, the wrestling fans and the people who love Dusty and Roddy, but it's also, a thing thinking now, those are two guys who were around and were always helping people backstage and at the Performance Center and on the Indies whenever they went around and did anything that just aren't going to be there.
Yeah, it's a big shot to the wrestling world.
And
in
it's
general.
One of the things that made things like the Attitude Era so good were having influences from the old school wrestlers.
Yeah.
And the real good old school wrestlers are just sort of being plucked off. And I mean, that's why I feel like this generation sort of had a limbo point, in the mid 2000s where everything was just kind of because there wasn't anybody who did, nobody who traveled the territory systems like these guys did. And it wasn't until, though these guys started coming to, WWE's developmental centers and lending their craft and all their experience to the new up-and-coming talent, that everything started to get fresh again. I think my last comment is quote from Piper was be yourself and wrestle as yourself because everyone else is taken.
It's a good one. I mean, there's no amount of words that I can say. I didn't necessarily grow up with Piper because I didn't watch wrestling until almost the year 2000. So, but, over the 16 years that I've been watching wrestling now, I've gained a lot of respect for people that came before, the people that are busting their ass now, and I think in both times, Roddy Piper was very much one of the main consciousness of the wrestling world. He was still very prominent, still very popular, and generally loved by everyone. And it's hard to say that in 2 months we lost two really important people. I don't know.
Condolences to his family. Thanks for everything. Rest in power.
What's up, guys? Another episode coming to an end, another month come and gone, so we're getting ready to talk about some brand new indie news coming up.
That might be really loud.
That probably was really loud. We're getting close to the end.
Sorry, people wearing headphones.
Getting close to the end of the summer. We got a lot of big events coming up for different promotions. All kinds of stuff. You're not WWE's, you're not Lucha Undergrounds. All of the independent guys.
Wait, there's more stuff than WWE and Lucha Underground?
Yeah, like if you don't watch TV.
Oh.
Stuff on the internet.
What's TV?
YouTube that shit.
What's YouTube?
But.
You said but.
You might find us on YouTube. Probably not. You can find it on Destination America, because we're going to talk about Ring of Honor this past week, the 201st episode.
Episode 201
of Ring of Honor. We open up with a tag team match. The Kingdom taking on Jonathan Gresham and Rory Hollis. Jonathan Gresham, if you are Chikara fans, you may know him as Huracan. He was the third member of the Osirian Portal for a little while.
Circa 2010, 2011.
There's also a really good match of him versus Tyler Black.
Aka Seth Rollins.
Aka?
AKA Sucker.
I don't remember what promotion that was for, though. Was that AAW?
Jiminy Christmas. I think it's IWA Mid-South.
Right. It was on one of our 5 matches before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good match. But yeah, Jonathan Gresham and Roy Hollis didn't quite make the greatest tag team as far as the Kingdom was concerned.
Yeah, well, no. They're both guys who were trying to basically get onto the Ring of Honor roster.
Yes.
Guys who had tried out recently at Ring of Honor training camps.
Yeah. Jonathan Gresham got a little bit of offense. Roy Hollis really didn't at all, which is probably why he ended up getting the Hail Mary, the assisted Spike Piledriver, and the Kingdom picked up the win. Jonathan Gresham, you tried. Roy Hollis sucked.
You died.
Maria was on commentary. That was pretty funny. She's such a bitch. She's so good at it.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
when you look that good, you can afford that liberty.
Yes. We also had, up next we had a 6-man mayhem match.
This match was crazy.
This is 2 guys start, four guys out on the side. You can tag anyone at any time. If one person leaves the ring, another person can come in. Lucha style rules. We had Silas Young, Cheeseburger, Caprice Coleman, Dalton Castle, Bob Evans, and Moose. Moose ended up getting the win. It looked like Brutal Bob was about to get it.
Yeah.
But Moose was able to, I don't know.
He averted the schoolboy roll-up.
Right.
He went for the spear, took a turnbuckle, and Bob Evans tried to roll him up, but he got out and then speared him anyways.
Yeah. So yeah, spear and pinning Bob Evans. Bob Evans trying to avoid Cheeseburger for most of the match because he's kind of a douche.
And afraid of a toothpick.
Yes. Good for Moose picking up the win.
He's got skin and twigophobia.
Then we had the Decade in the ring. We had BJ Whitmer saying that he wanted to give props and he wanted to give recognition to Colby Corino, who's really made a name for himself. He almost beat War Machine by himself. He almost beat Moose. No, he didn't. He really died in both those matches. I don't know how he's still alive.
He's a cat.
But BJ said that he wanted to, he really wanted him to make his name in Ring of Honor, and so he got him a present.
Well, I think the most important thing here was BJ saying, oh, hey, I thought you were cool when we first brought you in to be the Decade's young boy, but now I think of you as a son. And I hope you think of me as like the father you never had. As
King Corino is sitting at ringside like, you motherfucker. Even Kevin Kelly was yelling at BJ Whitmer for how much of a douchebag he was being.
Kevin Kelly looks ridiculous. I'm glad they don't put him on the camera much.
Yeah. Why do you think The Rock made fun of him for so many years?
Because he's a hermaphrodite.
Well, yeah.
And The Rock, that would give The Rock way a lot of negative press these days.
Yes.
Now The Rock loves people of all genders and sexualities.
That's a lie. Yeah, BJ would get
Except
Colby
for
Corino.
you, Kevin Kelly. He still hates you.
Hermie. BJ Whitmer would get Colby Corino a present. He'd sign him up for a gauntlet match against 4 guys who were looking to get into Ring of Honor. We had kind of
more guys from training camp.
Yeah, we had kind of a theme, but all 4 of these guys were fucking huge. Like,
large individuals.
They were massive dudes. One guy, his name was Beast. We saw him at House of Hardcore in a tag team match against Team Tremendous. The other 3 guys I didn't really...
There was one guy who was in I think, quarterfinals match with Raymond Rowe.
Yes.
In the Top Prospect tournament last year.
Yes. Yeah, he didn't win, obviously.
No, it was super huge fat guy and Rowe suplexed him, which was amazing.
But this whole thing never actually happened because Corino actually got up and talked to all 4 of the guys, telling them to back the hell off. Then we had him get in the ring and try and stand up and help Colby. BJ started talking some shit, and then King Corino wanted to try and kill BJ Whitmer.
And they shoved him.
Yeah, and it turned into a shoving match. People trying to break it up. We ended up going to commercial. This is probably building towards the longest built-up grudge match of all time, which will probably happen at one of the big shows that's coming up for Ring of Honor. We'll talk about that in a second. Our main event, we had Bobby Fish taking on ACH.
And as a note, Nigel, not Niall.
Niles?
I forgot the G in Nigel.
And you added an S.
Yeah. Nigel replaced Carino on commentary for this match,
Right.
saying that Carino did step out of line. He's not supposed to touch the wrestlers.
Yes.
He did physically lay his hands on BJ Whitmer,
Yes.
and so he was forced to give the rest of the show off.
Yes. So for the main event, we had Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness on commentary for ACH versus Bobby Fish. This was a great match. Lots of back and forth. ACH ended up hurting his leg off of a huge, soccer kick to Bobby Fish's face on the outside. This kind of played into him ultimately losing. He went for a 450. Fish ended up getting the feet up. A little bit more back and forth, and then Fish finished off ACH with a top rope Falcon arrow. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Bobby Fish rightfully getting the win for that one. So congratulations, Bobby Fish. So sorry, ACH, you're one of my favorites, but it's just not a good day for you.
Not your day.
We do know that next week we're getting the Young Bucks versus War Machine.
And that's going to kick off the hour.
And then for our main event, we love Adam Cole taking on Kyle O'Reilly.
Good main event.
Yes.
So we know that show's going to be sandwiched with good matches.
Yeah, so we can only imagine what's going to be like smack dab in the middle. Unless those are going to be the only two, which I'm okay with that, because they're going to be fucking awesome matches.
Yeah.
But that's not all the results we got. Mr. Kevin Hawk, what you got?
Well, on the 1st of August, we had Adversity presented by Dreamwave Wrestling in LaSalle, Illinois.
Alright.
These are guys we don't cover very often, but after this show, they might be another frequent returner.
Lots of
with
names on this.
everybody else. We know we had the tag titles on the line. Matt Cage and Christian Rose defeated Zero Gravity. With Ice Pick Capri take on...
Say that 3 times fast.
And he defeated Gunnar Franks. Chris Castro defeated Stephen Wolf. I'm going to guess it's pronounced Stephen Wolf, but
It needs to be Stephen Wolf.
Stephen Wolf.
That's a great name.
And Nick Brubaker defeated Nick Cage, aka Cage the Machine.
Yeah.
We had the Alternative Championship defended in a 4-way match where AR Fox defeated Shinron, Rich Swann, and Lindsay Dorado.
That is a match I want to see.
We had Waylon Beck defeat Buck Nasty Bucky Collins.
He just went against Kingston, didn't he?
Yes.
Kingston went against Buck Nasty in one of the last shows. If you go back to last week's Indy News.
And we had a tag team gauntlet where the team of Roughhausen defeated AC/DC, the Hooligans, the World's Cutest Tag Team, Helter Skelter, Seduce and Destroy, and the Swag Team.
I'm glad that last one lost.
But that's a big victory over 6 other teams. I mean, I don't know if they beat all 6 teams, but they won the gauntlet.
Yeah, regardless. It's a gauntlet match.
And then in the main event, Marche Rocket successfully defended the championship, the Dreamwave title, against Tommaso Ciampa.
Nice. Mr. M80.
Yeah. That's it for results. So we got a couple little news stories.
Yeah.
More so updates than anything else.
Yes. As you know, if you're not, you obviously haven't been watching. Did that make any sense?
No. Try again.
If you didn't know already, which if you don't, you obviously haven't been watching us.
On the Indy News.
We've been talking about Figures Toy Company and their pro wrestling line, the Rising Stars of Wrestling, which is now named. They've got action figures. Action figures for, not everybody. Lots of indie guys are getting...
Tons.
Lots of indie guys are getting
almost
action
the entire
figures.
Bullet Club.
There's like 2 names from the Bullet Club that aren't on there yet. We got Cliff Compton, we got ECW guys.
Adam Cole.
Yeah, Adam Cole.
The Briscoes.
Kevin Steen are part of the Ring of Honor line within this grouping of action figures. We just got an addition to the Ring of Honor line where Unbreakable Michael Elgin is officially getting his action figure.
The man baby comes to your own living room.
Check out Figures Toy Company's Twitter. They posted a picture of it. I think in the face he looks like Bobby Roode. Am I right? Am I wrong? Post down in the comments what you think. But that's cool. Another Ring of Honor guy getting an action figure. So adding to the names, I don't even know how many names we've got.
There's a lot. I mean, New Jack, Blue Meanie, Just Incredible, Mikey Whipwreck, Jim Cornette, Brian Myers,
Cliff Compton.
Cliff Compton, almost the entirety of the Bullet Club, AJ Styles, the Bucks,
Kenny Omega, Tama Tonga, Amber O'Neal, Luke Gallows. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Joey Ryan. There's a lot of people getting action figures.
Get on Gargano, guys.
Yes.
Let's get a Gargano the Raid 2-pack.
And Colt Cabana.
Yeah, Colt. How is this not a thing yet? Really?
But that's all I've got for indie news. I know you've got an update on one of our favorite nights in independent wrestling.
Yeah, one of our favorite weekends, a 3-night extravaganza known as Chikara's King of Trios, where we're going to bring you the updates on the 14th and 15th teams to be announced.
Yeah.
With the Arcane Hordes trio, the Batiri, Kodama, and Oberian, along with Oleg the Usurper.
Yeah.
This coming off the fact that recently Ultra Menace Black was injured at a Chikara live event and will not be participating in any matches in the foreseeable future, but he will be at King of Trios in a non-participating role.
Yeah. He's usually on commentary. I'm sure maybe he'll accompany them to the ring or something. Something where he's not being physical.
Yeah. And then the 15th team announced for Crown and Court, it will be Princess Kimberly and Los Ice Creams. That rounds out all of the COTI teams.
Yep.
Now have trios in the King of Trios tournament. And I feel like a lot of them are very good wildcard teams to take the whole tournament.
Yeah. More often than not, we usually get, a very universal team. Some people that have been teaming together for,
the Colony.
Yeah, the Colony, Fist. What was the last one?
Devastation Corporation?
Yes, people that
Spectral Envoy?
Yeah, people that make up a reoccurring team. We've got a lot of just random pairings here that really just come from the COTI tournament that's been going on for a couple of months. So yeah, it's an interesting atmosphere this year for King of Trios. And then you add in people like Team AAA, the Bullet Club, the Blue World Order. Like, there's some really interesting teams in this tournament this year.
Yeah, and there's still one more left to be announced.
One spot left.
We'll probably have that for you next week.
I would hope so. I hope we don't have to wait too much longer.
And that opens up a whole new still. I mean, there's a lot of Chikara guys who still aren't in the teams.
Yeah.
Team NRG aren't represented in the tournament at all.
There's no Chikara guys that have returned that are in trios yet too, because that usually happens at least once.
Or like perhaps Kevin Condren, Lucas Calhoun, and the Troll.
That's a good one.
Or maybe Missile Assault Ant is going to join them now that he's unmasked.
Yeah, we actually we didn't mention that.
Yeah, we didn't mention that during the Chikara show. Condren and his troupe had convinced Missile Assault Ant to remove his mask.
Yeah, so that's very likely going to be the last trio.
Or it could just be any random other 3 people from somewhere else too.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't think we have a Japanese team yet this year, do we?
No Japanese teams on the radar this year.
So there's a good chance we'll get one of those. We usually have 1 or 2 within King of Trios, but we won't know until they announce it.
Your idea is where I want the most. I want a throwback team.
Yeah. So yeah,
I want a team.
A couple guys like Night Eye for the Pirate Guy.
Yeah.
So a trio like that, or bring back Shane Storm, and 2 other guys. I don't know.
To me, I want to see Mike Quackenbush, Jigsaw, and Shane Storm.
Yeah, where's Jigsaw been?
He's been wrestling. He's Global Force.
Just Global Force?
And other things, but I know he's been doing the Global Force.
Yeah, he is a main guy on the Global Force roster. So.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited for King of Trios. This is the 3 days after my birthday this year, so happy birthday to me.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it for indie news. We're gonna move on to some upcoming events,
which we have a lot of.
Yes, we do.
So get your ear holes open, or if you don't even care, go to another video.
Yeah, because there's a playlist over there.
This is going to be a long list of events, starting with the 8th of this month.
What?
Combat Zone Wrestling presents Retribution in Voorhees, New Jersey. We know there's going to be a pre-show. There's going to be 4 matches on this pre-show, starting with Joey Janela versus JT Dunn, and then also Sozio versus Ryan Gallione of the Front. And if Sozio wins, he gets 5 minutes in the ring with Trooper Audubon, the mastermind, the manager of the Front.
Right.
And if he defeats him in this 5-minute span, then the Front must permanently disband from CZW.
A lot on the line in this match.
Also,
2 matches.
They have some Japanese wrestling showcase matches with a little promotion they're doing a little conjunctive work with.
Nice.
Both tag team matches, as they have Tahumi Ihara and Brittany Blake taking on the team of Penelope Ford and Sumi Sakai.
Oh, nice.
And they also have Dub Security are going to be going against Chigusa Nagoya and Watanabe.
Hey, Watanabe, we see him in Ring of Honor all the time.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we move on to the main card, where we've got 2 matches playing into the current rivalry between Ohio is for Killers and the Nation of Intoxication. Right. As we're going to have Dave Christ taking on Wrench Connor Claxton, and we're going to have Jake Christ taking on Danny Havoc.
Oh.
Also, there's going to be another one-on-one match between Dick Justice and Greg Excellent, 2 fat, funny guys. So there's obviously a comedy match on the card.
I can't imagine it being anything else.
There's going to be a Voorhees street fight between Pepper Parks and Matt Tremont.
That's a scary name for a street fight.
Yeah. I don't know how well Pepper Parks fits in the street fight scene. I've never seen him do one. But
first time for everything.
If there's anything we know about Matt Tremont is that he thrives in the realm of no holds barred.
Fun.
So
should be exciting.
Yeah. What we do know though is Pepper Parks will have Cherry Bomb with him.
Oh, okay.
And he has been recently in cahoots with the CCW champion Black G's.
Ooh,
so
he's got some backup.
He's gonna have backup for the street fight. Maybe Tremont will have his own backup, or maybe he'll have a way to negate the backup. We don't know. And also, the Wired Championship will be on the line. Our boy Tim Donst is going to be taking on Frankie Picard, defending the title.
Nice.
Trying to bring it back home again anyways. I just recently saw a picture on Facebook. He was trying to pawn the belt off for some hoes.
Tim Donst?
Yes.
Okay. I did not see that
He'll
video.
also trade it for gift cards or food.
Alright.
The Wired Championship.
Hey, Tim, I've got some food. You wanna... I'll take the title if you want.
And then, defend it against Matt Tremont?
That's what I have you for.
Ah, sure. But then the next night, on the 9th, we have AAW presenting Bound by Hate in Marionette Park, Illinois. And they're going to have a tag team bourbon street fight.
Anything goes bourbon street fight.
And that's going to be Eddie Kingston and Shane Hollister versus Matt Cage and Tyson Dux. We're also going to have probably what would be an awesome singles match between Johnny Gargano and Matt Sydal.
I'm excited for that one.
A tag team match between Zero Gravity against Davey Vega and Matt Fitchett. If you haven't seen, watch Davey Vega's crazy-ass top rope hurricane Rana.
And then he posted a bunch of pictures of where you could,
where he hit his head on the apron.
You could see, how deep the gash was in his head. It took fucking 18 staples to close.
Pretty gnarly. And then for the Heritage Championship, we know Lewis Linden will be defending against the former champion, Christian Faith.
Nice. It's a pretty good card so far.
Yeah.
Only 4 matches.
And then we're moving on to another awesome show, which we're excited to see because we do love AIW, Absolute Intense Wrestling.
Hell yeah,
and
we
on
do.
the 14th, from Strongsville, Ohio, they're bringing us Battle of the Sexes 2, the sequel of last year's Battle of the Sexes.
Good figure.
Yeah, right. We know Athena is going to be going against a mystery opponent.
Yes.
I'm curious to know who it's going to be. So are most people who are interested in AIW, I believe. Gregory Iron is going to be taking on Antisocial. Lewis Linden will be facing Heidi Lovelace. The team of Two Infinity, a.k.a. Cheech Hernandez and Colin Delaney, will be taking on Sugar and Spice, a.k.a. Taylor Hendricks and Mary Elizabeth Moore.
Taylor Hendricks. Wow.
Ricky Shane Page is going against Veda Scott.
Yeah.
Ethan Page is going against Allison Kay. Eddie Kingston's going against Mia Yim. Madman Pondo is going against Crazy Mary Dobson. And in what I'm going to guess is the main event, Johnny Gargano is going to be taking on Candice LeRae.
That one and the Kingston Yim match, I'm so interested in.
And then on the 15th, we go to our good buddies in Philly, Chikara, wrestling out of the Wrestle Factory in Philadelphia. It's going to be The Good Life. And we've got 2 matches already set up for The Good Life. We have a COTI tag team match. Los Ice Creams, representing Crown and Court, are going to be taking on Frightmare and Blind Rage, representing the Nightmare Warriors.
Spoiler alert. Ice cream melts. Especially when it's in hell.
And as we talked about last week, Amasis had accumulated his 3rd point towards Grand Championship contention, and he will be taking on the Grand Champion, Hollow Wicked, for the belt. So could we see our 4th Grand Champion?
I hope, man, can you imagine Amasis leading the Battle Hive into King of Trios with the Grand Championship?
How excited would you be if Amasis won the Grand Championship and then
the
Snake Pit won King of Trios?
Oh, this would be the best year as far as my favorites in Chikara. Oh, this is... Yeah, I'm good with this.
And then not so far away from that, in Queens, New York, on the same day, on the 15th, we're going to have Evolve 47 live on iPay-per-view.
Ooh.
The Premier Athlete brand, being represented by Caleb Connolly and Tony Nese, are going to be holding an open challenge.
Interesting.
Biff Busick will go against Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. Trent Beretta, also representing the Premier Athlete brand, will be taking on Ray Horace. Chris Hero will be going against Speedball Mike Bailey.
Oh.
Rich Swann is going to take on Drew Gulak, 2 of my favorites.
That'll be good.
And Johnny Gargano will be going against Ethan Page in an Anything Goes match.
Fun.
And in the main event for the Evolve Championship, Timothy Thatcher will defend against Zack Sabre Jr. And then the next night, rounding out the weekend, on the 16th, we've got Evolve 48 on iPay-per-view from Deer Park, not Deer Pork, Deer Park, New York.
Deer Pork.
Where the Premier Athlete brand, represented by Conley and Beretta and Nese, will be doing an open challenge.
Ooh.
All 3 of them. And then we know that Drew Gulak will be teaming with Tracy Williams to take on Speedball Mike Bailey and Ray Horace. Ethan Page will take on Rich Swann. Johnny Gargano will take on an opponent of Ethan Page's choosing. Chris Hero will take on Zack Sabre Jr. in a match titled Best of the Best.
Alright.
And in a non-title match, Timothy Thatcher will be taking on Biff Busick in another Anything Goes, the final showdown between these 2 guys.
Ooh, alright.
And then we know we're going to turn the corner towards the end of the month with Ring of Honor.
Yes, that Friday on the 21st in Philadelphia at the 2300 Arena, Ring of Honor will finish off their Aftershock tour. This is more TV tapings. We got a couple matches signed. We've got Kushida taking on Matt Sydal. We have Adam Cole taking on Nakamura. And we have the rematch for the World Championship. Jay Lethal defends against Roderick Strong. We also have The Addiction, Okada, the Briscoes, and the Kingdom set to appear. But the next day, on the 22nd, Saturday, this will be in Brooklyn, New York, at MCU Park, will be Field of Honor. This will not be on pay-per-view as far as I can tell. But if it is, let me know down in the comments. We got a few matches set up for this one as well. We got Killer Elite Squad taking on War Machine. We've got Okada taking on Roderick Strong. That'll be a good match. We got Jay Lethal teaming with Nakamura to take on Red Dragon. And then we have the Briscoes taking on the Time Splitters. Other people set to appear, we got The Addiction, we got Michael Elgin, ACH, Adam Cole, The Kingdom, RPG Vice, Young Bucks, Matt Sydal, Moose, Donovan Dijak, Cedric Alexander, Adam Page, Dalton Castle, and Silas Young. And that is the 22nd. Let's see, where are we going next? The 29th. We start off the Reloaded Tour in Atlanta, Georgia.
Hot Atlanta.
Yeah. This has got a couple. So do you have more? You have more at the beginning of September, or
The 30th.
the 30th? Oh, okay. All right. So I'll finish that myself. So on the 29th, September 11th and September 12th, we have the Reloaded Tour. This will be in Atlanta, Georgia, Dearborn, Michigan, and Chicago Ridge, Illinois. No matches have been set for any of those shows yet, but this is all leading up to the 18th, where we start All-Star Extravaganza Night 1. We have 2 matches set for that night, and they are depending on each other. So we've got, this first one technically isn't, but it's if Jay Lethal has kept the TV title up until this point, he will face Bobby Fish. And if Jay Lethal beats Roderick Strong at Field of Honor and retains the World Championship, he'll have to face Kyle O'Reilly. So
I can almost guarantee you we're gonna see.
Or not Field of Honor, at the TV tapings.
Yeah, I almost guarantee you we're gonna see Jay Lethal in singles action against both members of Red Dragon.
Yeah.
At All Star Extravaganza.
Yeah, it's this will be in San Antonio, Texas. It's gonna be a rough night for Jay Lethal.
Whether that's both on night 1 or if he gets to split them out, either or. It's gonna be a long weekend for Jay Lethal.
Yeah. And regardless, even if he doesn't have his titles, he's still set to appear. He will be there. We've also got The Addiction, AJ Styles, the Briscoes, Matt Sydal, Roderick Strong, the Young Bucks, Adam Cole, The Kingdom, Moose, and Michael Elgin all set to appear. The next night will be night 2. No matches have been signed for that night yet, but
We've still got a long ways to go before that comes around.
We got a ways to go, but that's all I got for Ring of Honor.
All right, and if all that Ring of Honor goodness isn't enough,
what's wrong with you?
We're gonna cut your Ring of Honor right down the middle. On the 30th of August,
All right.
our boys at Beyond Wrestling present the Battle of New England Returns.
It's a long ass name for them. Show.
From Fet Music in Providence, Rhode Island, their usual place of origin, their usual show hall. It's got a really cool look.
It's a good venue.
I'm digging it a lot. Only 2 matches have been announced for this as well, and we're going to have Sugar Dunkerton versus the man, Nick Gage. And
Sorry, Sugar.
which should be a very fast-paced, entertaining match between A.R. Fox and Jonathan Gresham.
Hell yeah. I'm excited for that one. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
So look forward. We're going to have some results next week
Yes.
from the CZW show and probably AAW.
Yes. Yeah, but by the time we record, we should have those. We should potentially know the 16th team in King of Trios.
Hopefully we will.
Another update in the Figures Toy Company line.
Any other independent news.
Plus more matches added to any of the shows that we just talked about.
Absolutely. And don't forget. Don't favorite this video.
Don't
You
favorite
will die.
Don't favorite to like or subscribe. It's bad business.
Don't forget to like, favorite, or subscribe, and follow the links down below where we have links leading you to the websites of all of these promotions that we have been talking about, like ROHWrestling.com,
ChikaraPro.com.
ChikaraPro.com. There's going to be a PWG.com down there.
At DGUSA.tv.
LookmondoFans.com. And probably WWN Live.
Yes, that one is down there as well.
8AW, 8IW, CZ Wrestling. All sorts of links down there. Also links to our information, our Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Reddit, emails, and Instagrams.
By the way, thank you, AIW, for following me on Instagram. I thought that was cool.
And check out the playlist.
Yeah.
You referenced it earlier.
Yep, I did.
It's there. There's Raw. There's SmackDown. There's the stuff in between Raw and SmackDown. Thomas even to the top 5.
Yeah, be sure to check out, if you're a fan of Lucha Underground, be sure to check out our midweek wrap-up, where we talk about Part 1 of Ultima Lucha. Part 2 is coming up this week.
Yeah, Part 1 of Ultima Lucha put me up 3-2.
Yeah.
Or 2-1. I don't remember.
I'm
ahead of
2-1. 2-1.
I'm ahead of you.
Yeah, if you don't know, whoever gets the most points from Ultima Lucha as far as predictions go, loser gets a chop. 3 chops.
3 chops.
And currently, I'm on the chopping block.
See what you did there.
But yeah.
If you think that joke was corny, post in the comments.
Or like the video.
Or favorite it. Or subscribe to our channel.
Please.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe. Share us with your friends. Post down in the comments any...
subscribe.
What?
What?
Post down in the comments any independent promotions or wrestlers or things wrestling related that you like down in the comments. Websites, Facebooks, Tumblrs,
Specifically,
Twitters,
especially YouTube videos.
YouTubes.
Because this is YouTube. We're in. I mean, if you don't know,
Welcome to YouTube land.
We're trapped in this YouTube square that you're watching. Maybe in your computer screen square if you're full screened us.
Yeah.
We want to full screen us though. Gross.
Matt, you'd do it. Don't lie.
Also, right now I'm dropping the announcement. Next week, 5 matches not to miss returns. Hot Rod Roddy Piper edition.
Yes. Yeah, it's been a rough week, but we made it through. We're gonna honor the hot rod next week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys then.